Fresh off a haunted house tour, two sisters come across what seems to be a confused old woman walking alone in the dark and the rain. They choose to help her. Bad choice. Oliver Seneca of Editors has returned to our author spotlight. His new horror book is Shaded Grove, some of it inspired by old buildings around Harrisburg. No doubt this book is creepy. Let's talk about the sisters here and their take on the paranormal. They don't really have, they don't see eye to eye on this.
Yep, that's right. So there's two sisters, Megan and Diane. Megan is the older of the two, and she does not believe in the afterlife and spirits and all that stuff. Meanwhile, Diane's all about it. She loves going on haunted house tours. She likes, like Ouija boards and crystals and stones and all kinds of hippie stuff like that. So although they differ with their opinion on spirits and stuff like that, Megan, the older sister, still loves her younger sister and wants to entertain this hobby. So they do go out to a haunted house, but not without Megan making all these comments and insults along the way and making fun of her sister. So she doesn't believe, but later on in the story, she might have to, reconsider her.
Right, because
her
on the way home, they come across this woman. Then what happens?
Yeah, so they're on the way home from the haunted house tour, and it's dark and rainy, and all of a sudden there's this elderly woman in the middle of the road. So they pull over, and they're trying to check in on her and get her to safety, but she's acting very strange, and her mood shifting by the second, and she's saying stuff like, she's acting as if she knows the sisters, but the sisters have never seen this woman, before in their lives. So they're trying to get her to a hospital, but then what happens is she has this crazy mood swing, and then they end up crashing the car, and then they wake up right in front of the Shaded Grove Mental Hospital in the middle of the woods, and the old lady is now missing. And then
and they're there.
Yeah, and then they're there, and then they soon find out that it's an abandoned mental hospital, but actually it might not be so abandoned after all.
So it's still present time. It's still present day when they show up.
Well, at first they thought nothing. They thought, like, no one's here, we can't get any help, but then a security guard shows up and lets them through the front gate. But unfortunately, as soon as they get through, the security guard disappears, front gate gets locked.
Of course.
And then, all kinds of other spirits and weird characters show up, and, the sisters have to figure out, who's alive and who's a spirit, and, how do we get out of here, and, how do we get into this mess? But all things will be revealed.
You like to incorporate Harrisburg into your books in different capacities.
Sure.
Is this building inspired by something in Harrisburg? Is it a real place?
Yeah, there's different buildings around Harrisburg that either were old hospitals or like renewed hospitals. Some were like abandoned, some just stopped operating and are still standing. And I wanted to take that eerie feeling of this place was once active at some point in time, and there were patients coming and going, but now it's quiet and it's dark, but there's something lurking around the corners inside. So I wanted to take that idea and plant it in a kind of tucked away town of Shaded Grove, Pennsylvania, which is kind of like a rural, in the valley somewhere, no one really knows about it, and plant this spooky hospital right in the middle of it.
I don't know how these things pop into your head, but it's fascinating.
Yes, I have a lot of issues, yes.
We'll talk about that in another segment.
Yes, absolutely.
So thank you for being with us.
That is my pleasure. Thanks for having me back.
You're very welcome. Like Oliver, if you're a local author, you can be in our author spotlight too. Visit gooddaypa.com, click on Be a Guest, and while you're there, you can check out other author segments. Click Author Spotlight under our quick links. We'll be right back.